Howdy, everybody. Happy Thursday. Hope you guys had a good day at work. Hope you all enjoyed the latest episode of Candace and Baron. We'll be going over a couple of those, couple clips from each of those today. Welcome to another episode of the Black Line Brief. I'm your host, Matthew McKim. Thank you guys for joining me. As you come in, please hit the like and subscribe. It's the best way to help the channel to keep it growing, keep it boosting up in the algorithm. And we are growing. We're fastly uh we're getting close to 7,000. Oh my gosh, I was going to say it differently. But yes, we're closing in on 7,000 subscribers. So you guys deserve the credit for that as much as I do. Thank you guys all for your hard work. Bree Baby X, we got Mystic Gypsy, Jim Bear, and then all the regulars. American Lynn, good to see you guys. So in preparation for tonight's show, when I had I had planned to do a couple different things, and it's so hard to create like a thumbnail and a title, because for me at this point, I can't do like my own in-depth investigation each day and create a title and a thumbnail that just covers that one thing that I'm covering, right? I'm covering multiple things and trying to find out a title that's good and a thumbnail that's honest, but also that is catchy. It's hard. It's hard to do this. And but in watching Baron's episode, something just really, really stuck out to me. And it similarly stuck out to me on Zach Costello's show today as well. They both had the same guy on from that Catholic organization that's going to have Candace on. And I mentioned this previously. Like, Erica Kirk could have done so many things differently from the moment Charlie was assassinated that never would have drawn any suspicion her way. It never would have given us cause to suspect any involvement in any way in Charlie Kirk's assassination. However, the complete opposite has happened. And literally everything she's said and done since the moment that the bang rang out at UVU, and everything that Candace and Baron and others have uncovered, because so much of what we know isn't from them telling us anything. They've lied time and time again. Erica Kirk, TPUSA, Andrew Colvett, and everyone involved over there. And because of that's made our spidey senses perk up. And that takes away this whole I'm a grieving widow. You can't accuse me. You can't ask questions about the grieving widow. It takes that away. I think. And this is why the title and the thumbnail is what it is, okay? I'm going to watch a little clip of Baron discussing Charlie Kirk was for sure signed up. Oh, that's why I didn't do it. Don't worry, sweetie, I got it. It's off. It's going to stop auto-correcting and zooming in. And every time I move, it's like, oh, no, it did it again. I thought I did it. All right. Well, hopefully it just stopped doing it. All right. Charlie Kirk was signed up for OCIA classes. He was taking that last and final step, converting to Catholicism. That is not a small thing. Add that to the list of everything we already know of the probable, reasons why those in Philly and those here in the Republican Party and those at TPUSA had reason, maybe motive, to take Charlie out. This Catholicism reason is massive. It's not minor. Look at Carrie Bragine Bowler. Look at what Catholics believe about Philly. I don't know why it keeps auto-correcting. I apologize if that's bothering you guys. I'm going to try and fix it. Maybe if I turn the lights up, it'll stop doing it. All right. Him actually taking that last and final step to becoming a full member of the Catholic Church is not small. The official Catholic Church's stance on what was the Zoroastrianism is they don't support it at all. And they never have. Did you guys know that they have failed to deny that Charlie Kirk actually was buried? He had a Catholic burial. It's been reported by Candace and others and by this gentleman tonight on Barron's show that he did, in fact, have last rites and Catholic burial. But remember, Jesse on Fire and Milo Yiannopoulos, I forget his last name. At the time, well, Jesse's reporting it still to this day, as if this is one of the main cornerstones of his theory that Charlie is not buried and therefore Charlie is not, or Charlie is alive. He's no longer, he's not dead. He's alive. That's what Jesse's claiming. Among other reasons with his theory, it's nonsense, but this really puts a big hole in that. And there's a reason why TPUSA and everyone has failed to come out themselves and just publicly admit it. Are we supposed to believe that they put an empty casket in the ground, that his parents participated in this burial, and or that Charlie allowed his parents to think the casket was empty? No. Charlie wouldn't do that. And to accuse Charlie of that, I think is just horrible. But going back to the Catholic issue, can you imagine Charlie running in 2028? He was going to run for president, for sure. And he would get elected, hands down. I don't think there's any doubt in that. And anyone that doubts that or tries to say that he had no aspirations and wouldn't, is, I think, crazy at this point. But him running, because if he was signed up for the OCIA classes to become a Catholic, and I hope I'm pronouncing that acronym right. I just heard it for the first time on Barron's show. He for sure would have been running as a Catholic president by the time 2028 came around. That would have changed major policies with Philly. That's not small. That also would have changed things with TPUSA massively. Barron says that. It would have been done. He would have been done at TPUSA if he became Catholic, and which this gentleman reported tonight he was. 100% was. And this is why they've all tried so hard to say he was not converting to the Catholicism. He just liked going to mass. He just liked the architecture. Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. If Charlie began to question all of the Calvary Chapel pastors around him, Turek, McCoy, Greg Laurie, and other non-denominational pastors, which I'm sorry that, I don't want to do this because I grew up non-denominational. And for my whole life, I have nothing against it until the last 6 months, until more and more I found out mainly about the Calvary Chapel movement in church and those pastors that lead it. But if Charlie became increasingly suspicious about his circle, those surrounding him, the pro-Zoroastrianists that were around him, and Philly, okay, and these mockingbird pastors that were all so pro-Zoroastrianists, it makes sense why he would retreat to a different version of Christianity, like Catholicism. And I guarantee you with transubstantiation, all the other reasons where he was battling with some of these major theological underpinnings of faith, which this young man reports on tonight. But also, I think he wanted to worship and pray in peace. I don't think he wanted to be handled at church. I don't think he wanted to be around individuals that put a foreign country's my goodness, of course this happens, right? He didn't want to be, in my opinion, surrounded by people that put Philly above the United States. A, a denomination and pastors and churches where he would go, and that was being pushed and hoisted on him, where he's surrounded by individuals that he couldn't trust. Candace reported on this, that in the last months, he couldn't stand Rob McCoy. I believe that. And like I said, among all these other theological, personal, deep, religious, spiritual reasons to Charlie of why he wanted to convert to Catholicism, which he clearly did, I also think it was motivated to get away from everything and everyone that was surrounding him that he couldn't trust anymore. And I don't think this is a very small issue. It's why they've been trying so hard to put it to rest. No, he just liked the architecture. No, he wasn't converting. Oh, it's because Erica was a cradle Catholic, you know. But and why they refused to publicly admit that he had a Catholic burial. It's been reported here and there, but I've never heard TPUSA confirm it or Erica Kirk confirm it. And so we're going to look at something, and then you guys we'll discuss it. Okay, let's see what this young man says. And this is the young man that is going to have Candace Owens on. He also went on Zach Costello's show today. Erica Kirk. Oh, that's I always have so many things in my mind. Why couldn't Erica Kirk and TPUSA invited Candace on? It was one of Charlie's dying statements, one of the last things he said, that was truly an independent thought, his own original thought. He was like, well, I'm thinking of having Candace back on. And of course, his handlers, his pro-Zoroianists tried to tell him and warn him and caution him against doing that. Why couldn't Erica Kirk do what this young man in this organization is doing? Not have Ben Shapiro on? Why couldn't Erica Kirk and TPUSA have Tucker and Candace on? That would have been following Charlie's legacy, what he wanted. It was what he said in the last days of his life. The fact that she not only is not doing things that he clearly was saying publicly at the end, but she's doing the complete opposite. And she's allowing in to the organization, and she's heading in a direction that's completely opposite from where Charlie was taking TPUSA and where he was going personally. This is just one of many reasons why we all have noticed this looks suspicious, and why we think Erica must be involved in some way, shape, or form, because she's the CEO making these decisions.
I'm a little confused by it as well, but I feel like, you know, we've sort of beat that part. Let me go forward to his death, because there was an issue where I know Milo Yiannopoulos got on Timcast and said he was 100% sure Charlie had not been buried. He was confused by that. It would be confusing if he wasn't. What do you know about whether Charlie had a funeral, and what sort of form that took?
I wasn't the one that, you know, it's not like breaking news that there was a Catholic funeral. That's been reported by other sources, right? It's Candace and others have confirmed, so they have their sources who say that. I can add to that, I have actually seen pictures of the people gathering for the funeral at a Catholic parish, and also I've seen pictures of the burials of the ceremony at the actual Catholic cemetery as well. So again, you know, I could see from one point of view how they might want to protect, you know, just the parish identity and safety and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, why are we sitting on this? It should be a special thing, you know, that we celebrate in this regard. And I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, it's very bizarre to me, and maybe it's because I'm a Catholic convert and I don't view it as a particularly massive deal, right? I mean, it's a big deal in that I do believe in the Catholic faith, and I took it seriously enough to pursue it, and lost friends over it, and had people take me to lunch and tell me I was going to hell and all that. I mean, I've heard it all. And then I've been very active Catholic since then. Some of my commenters don't like it and they ask me questions about it, but I don't mind. I'll answer any question anybody asks me to the extent I know. But I'm just very confused by this just desire to say they won't even say he's buried because they don't want to say he's in a Catholic cemetery. Like that is so weird to me. Like we would rather you think we've just got him propped up by the jukebox.
And guys, think about what I said in the beginning. If admitting that he had a Catholic burial in a Catholic cemetery, and once this comes out, we'll really find out some more that he was actually taking the very final last steps in converting. He was praying the rosary, going to mass daily, even though members are only really required to go to Sunday mass. He was going daily. What does that say about Charlie and his stance on Philly, where he was about to go on his stance on Philly, where he was going to go with TPUSA? The people around him are refusing to admit that he's been buried in a Catholic cemetery with a Catholic funeral. And it's added to this whole, Charlie Kirk still alive thing. It's one of the main things that Jesse uses. The other is just the fact that, oh my gosh, all these parallels between Snake Eyes. Charlie was a kid when that came out. What are you talking about? So that's insane. So like they had the forethought. They knew they were going to take Charlie out when he was like an infant, a toddler, that they wrote this whole script around him. Or are you saying that his family named him based on this? Like which does the correlation go that way or does it go that way? It doesn't make sense. And Jesse says it himself that his whole theory hinges on this whole Snake Eyes thing, which is crazy. If anything, that's the craziest thing. But I think it's very telling that they refuse to just publicly admit it. Others, like he just said, reported on it, like Candace and others, but they haven't confirmed it. So much so that Erica said, and I'm sorry I'm going back and forth because I'm like thinking about playing it, and then I'm like, oh, I'm going to keep telling you guys something. Erica was like, can I just have one thing? Can we and my children just have one thing? Why the big defense and push to not admit that he was buried? It's not because they want privacy. They don't want to admit where, because it's a Catholic cemetery. And then it would lead to a Catholic funeral. The questions would lead to then, okay, Catholic cemetery, Catholic funeral. Charlie, was this in his will? Charlie wanted this? Who made this decision? Not Erica. Why are they hiding it? Because it's not a small issue. It's a major issue. And I think it is his greatest sin. I don't think Charlie was a big sinner. Okay, we're all sinners. We all fall short of the glory of God. We all need Christ as our savior. But I think his stance on Philly, everything he was doing publicly, and then this was one of the final things. I think they knew once he went this direction, once this was final, there was no coming back. He would not be theirs. They could not control him. And he would be better used for them, and the legacy and the Republican Party and TPUSA could use him and change what his legacy was. They could tell us what his legacy was. They could tell. And Ben Shapiro's making freaking shows what Charlie Kirk really thought. And he's cherry picking videos over the last however many years where Charlie is pro Philly and saying this and saying that, but he's sure as heck not showing all the other clips, not showing any of them at all. PBD? Nope. Not showing that. What about him and Megan? Nope. Not showing that. What about the one where he talks about, secular Jews being part of the downfall of our society? It's all over on X. You can go see it. It's clipped. A lot of them have music in the background, so I can't play them. But all right, let's get back to this. Sorry, guys. I don't think this is a small issue. That's what I think. I think this is a major issue, and I think that's why there's been a major push for them to not confirm or deny and to not let anyone talk about this. Okay, and I think it had to do a major reason why they ultimately decided they had to get rid of him. He would be better used for them dead than alive.
Then you guys might think 5 months later he's lying in the ground somewhere because it's a Catholic cemetery, and we don't want you to know that. It's just a very like cult-like, almost a deeply dishonest approach to this man's life. And then they turn around and accuse us of dishonoring his legacy or dishonoring his life or attacking this or attacking that. And I'm like, you guys won't even say he's buried. You won't even tell people he's in rest. That bothers me. That bothers me a little bit. I do want to say this, since you're here, I'm a big believer in what you guys are doing at Catholic.
All right. He goes into talking about what the speaking engagement that he's hosting that Candace is coming on. Okay. I do want to show you guys this, right? All right. Well, I'm not going to play anything. I'm just going to show you, and I can't pull it up because I want you to see the thumbnail. I'll zoom in so you guys can see it. So this thumbnail that right here, okay? Overwhelming evidence. The FBI planted the rifle in the Charlie Kirk assassination. This was posted 9 hours ago. Okay. Jesse knew exactly what he was doing. Okay. He plays a clip from Jimmy Dore and Baron Coleman reporting on what Candace broke. Candace broke the news about the rifle months ago, last year, about how the rifle was discovered. I've reported on it. I've repeated it here many times. The local police swept it twice. The bomb dogs came. They sniffed, swept it, couldn't find it. FBI gets on scene. FBI sweeps, can't find it. FBI then tells 2 local police that have less than a year put together, go look over there where we all just looked, where they themselves just looked. Go look over there, and then they find the rifle. Clearly, the rifle was planted. I mean, I don't think that's in question at all. Jesse creates a clickbait thumbnail on purpose. I clicked on this today thinking he had new evidence as to proving that the rifle was planted. No. And he knows what he did. So he's willing to create a clickbait thumbnail with a clickbait title and not even give Candace the credit. Candace is the one that reported this, not play her clip from last year. He's going to play Baron and Jimmy Dore, which is a replay episode because it seems like it's more recent. It's not. And they're just repeating what Candace reported, and they say it in the episode. But he's allowing his viewers, his subscribers, to believe this is brand new breaking evidence, overwhelming evidence. The FBI planted the rifle in the Charlie Kirk assassination. Nothing new. So I think, to me, this goes to point to his character, that he is a clickbait individual. He's willing to put forth titles and thumbnails that mislead the audience. I was misled. I clicked on it thinking there might be new evidence. No, none. And then he uses this old reporting, but doesn't use the original source, Candace Owens. He uses Jimmy Dore and Barron, plays it off as new evidence, and then says this proves his claim that Charlie is alive. And I think it's just despicable. Why can't he play Barron's episode from today? Why can't he say, okay, I got to redo my theory? They've admitted Charlie's been buried. Multiple people have people were there. Witnesses were there. Family was there. This guy's reporting pictures from it. Why won't Jesse come out and say, like, hey, this puts a huge wrench in my theory? Because he used the Milo clip on the Tim Pool podcast saying that Milo knew for a fact that Charlie wasn't buried. Well, what about now, Jesse? It's been confirmed many times over. Charlie was buried. You'd either, to keep your story going and your whole series going, you'd either A, have to say Charlie let everyone believe he was in that empty coffin and he let people have a fake burial and bury it in an empty coffin, or everyone was in on it. Which theory is more crazy? That Charlie Kirk was assassinated by those around him and they've all been working together to cover this up, and that Charlie was in the coffin and put in the ground, and they're lying about it because he was becoming Catholic and had a Catholic burial and a Catholic funeral, or that Charlie is orchestrating this whole thing. It's insane because it also seeks to exonerate Trump, Vance, Kash Patel, the FBI, TPUSA, Erica Kirk, Andrew Colvett, Tyler Boyer, all of them. And it throws so many people off the scent to continuing to be interested in this because they think it's done and over. Charlie's alive. He's running the show from over there. And I think it's just ridiculous and sad. And that's all I'll say on that. Okay. All right. Now we'll go. Let's see. Where is it? Oh, I want to show you guys this. Okay. This is from today. There's a couple things I want to point out to you. We're not going to watch a lot. Don't worry, guys. Okay. This is Gary Melton today before his live where they debunk but don't debunk anything that Candace Owens says on her documentary series, where she's clearly doing deep investigative work into Erica Kirk and her family. Look, one of their arguments yesterday, Gary and the other lady he had on her show, was why aren't they talking about Erica? Okay, look, it's clear what she's doing. I can see it. She's going back to her family's history, and we're going to work into Erica. But building the foundation of who her family members are, what they were involved in, what they've done, the choices they've made, what kind of people they are, all leads into the environment and the people that raised Erica. And then we're going to get into Erica. I think this will probably be longer than a week series, 3 days. Tomorrow, like, we're just going to get into her pageant days tomorrow. Okay. But clearly everything leading up to this is building the foundation as to who is Erica Kirk. And just like we all know, we are a product of our upbringing. We are a product of our family, our lineage, those that came before us. And so I think it is very important to know who her parents and her grandparents and everyone involved are, because that kind of gives us a bit of a insight into who Erica is and why Erica is who she is today. I think it is very interesting that there are some ridiculous similarities between Erica Kirk and Brigitte Macron. Okay. And the pictures, let's see, maybe I'll just show that right now because that was fascinating. Let's see. Where is it? Right here. Let's look at these pictures. I'm not saying she was a man and then transitioned. I'm just saying that, that's definitely on my mind. And I don't know if it's on your mind, but knowing the connections that Jerry Franzfey, that aunt or whoever was in that was in her family's history, had with these, psychology, the Tesseract school and gender reassignment and all these things, these connections, I think are very, very interesting. Okay. And I don't know where she's going with this yet, but to me, when I'm watching this and I'm seeing parallels that she's not even pointing out, but that I'm picking up on from the Covering Becoming Brigitte series, to me, it's fascinating. And I'm very interested in to see where we go with it.
It is just not an exaggeration whatsoever for me to suggest that the Tesseract school, when you look at the people that are involved, very much you can view it as almost a child psychological experiment. I'm going to introduce those individuals to you. Let's just recap Tesseract school in general. We've already informed you, Erica will be there from 1993 to 1999. We showed you this photo of her in the first grade. We also then showed you this photo of Erica in the second grade. Erica, by the way, I should note, because we got some comments about this, she has spoken about how her mother chopped her hair off. So that is a known thing because she didn't know how to do her hair. I'm actually inclined to think that it was because her dad was taking care of her at that time. I'm not.
Which is weird, right? So like these little lies that are inconsistent with reality, because this was at the age in which her dad was the stay-at-home dad taking care of her. So why say her mom chopped it off and not her dad if her dad was her primary caregiver at that time? It's interesting. Why twist that little part of the story? I don't know. And I don't know. It's interesting looking at these pictures. I don't know what I think yet. I'm not claiming anything. It's just the next one's fascinating too.
Positive about that, but that would definitely make sense because these are going to be the years that she has a stay-at-home dad. Third grade photo we have here with Erica in this school. This is without question a school that is being designed by the elites. It is backed by.
Yeah, and it also makes me think of the whole inappropriate relationship with the young female and some of the statements where she's like, I don't bat for the other team yet. She also, in many, Erica Kirk, in many appearances, said she grew up a tomboy, which is very possible. And that, she wanted to be a professional basketball player, which is fine. Many professional basketball women are same-sex attracted. These are just parallels that I'm just finding interesting because like we have little bits of information from, this inappropriate relationship with a young girl. She makes a comment, I don't bat for the team just yet. That she wanted to be a professional basketball player since she was the age of 5. Then we see these pictures and it's like, that's interesting. Like, it's just interesting. I don't know. I'm not making any statements, any accusations or assumptions yet. It's just very interesting and to see her upbringing in this Tesseract school and what was going on there, the connections with her family members and in psychology, the reassignment. It's all gender reassignment. It's weird. It's very, very weird. And I don't think it's a coincidence at all. All right, but let's go over here because Gary, nonstop, man, plays the victim. He's total Zorro-iness, just the ultimate victim card. But here, let's listen to Gary.
All right. So I want you to see what is going on right here. And this is the YouTube Creator Studio, the analytics page. I can tell you before I did any of this Candace content at all, I averaged about 90, the average was like 98.5%. Like the lowest that I would ever, 0.5%. Like the lowest that I would ever get on a video is like 97, 96. So I want you to see what's happening. We got 15,000 views. We got 519 comments.
Maybe Gary should go back to whatever content he was creating before all this. Okay. And I think this does lead into, maybe he is getting paid. Okay. I'll show you a thing that Zach reports on, a list of potential people getting paid by TPUSA, or I don't know who it's by. I have to read the top of it again. But so he used to be doing extremely well with his content and his views so that his monetization was much, much higher. And now he's not. Then why wouldn't he change what he's covering? Why wouldn't you go back to what you were covering when your numbers were extremely high? You're making extremely less money. You're having extremely less success with your videos. Why wouldn't he change it? Is he getting compensated in other ways? There's no other way to see it, ladies and gentlemen. No one is going to continue to do something that isn't working just because. Just because. No, look at the likes, look at the views. It's horrible. And then he accuses YouTube and bots and us. It's our fault. Or maybe we're going to look at Zach Costello did a poll on X, over 50,000 people. That's a massive sample size. I'll show it in a second, but we'll keep going with Gary because just watch him whine like a little girl about his numbers and watch him attack everything and everyone else as to why the numbers are the way they are. Could it be that the majority of the public is not in agreement with you and what you're doing, Gary? Could that be the reason? No, Gary's not willing to even entertain that as a possibility.
None of these include the comments during a live. So this is the live stream yesterday that we had. We had 1,172 likes. So out of 15,000, we had 1,172 likes. 89% likes versus dislike is super low. And so what's happening is this stuff is very strategic. Whether it's bots, whether it's real people, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
But
matter.
what's happening is after the video is done being live and it turns into a regular, normal YouTube video, we have this flood of people come. Number one, we get a lot of views. That's good. But on top of that, what we get are all these people downvoting my content and other people's content as well. And it's a systematic strategic attack. So I want you guys.
Let's see. Well, let's see if I can show you guys. Watch this. Do you guys see? Where's my cursor? Where is it? Where's his? See this right here, ladies and gentlemen? I'm a human. I'm not a bot. Did you see me? See that thumb down? That's me, not a bot. Just someone that doesn't agree with what he's saying and doing. Okay. And so I would bet that there's just many other people like me that are watching his content and don't agree with it. And they're hitting the thumbs down button, not bots. It's not some grand suspicion, for someone that says people that, deal in conspiracies are brain rot and nut jobs. This is an insane conspiracy, dude. Okay. You're saying that everyone and everything's conspiring to make your videos have less reach and less views and less likes. Why not entertain the possibility no one's supporting you and that the people that are supporting you are clearly slowly but surely getting outnumbered?
Guys who know what's going on. And, somebody yesterday when I was talking about the coordination that was going on with Candace Owens and what's boosting her between bots, people, and everything else. The reason that they're doing that so successfully is because they know how the system works. They know how algorithms work. And we need your help to do the same thing. So after these videos, after the lives, one of the best things you can do is go back and make sure you like. I mean, we got 15,000 views and only 519 likes. That's a problem. And it's not because obviously the content was good. I mean, I thought between us, our commentary, and Lisa yesterday, that's a good video. And again, they know how to work the system. They understand how these algorithms works, and this getting downvoted directly affects the views that we're going to get. This is a video that if it was in the 95 to 98%, whatever it is, right? A normal video with non-artificial dislikes.
Okay.
This is a video that would get like 30,000 views all over social media, telling them what to say, things like that. But I want you to see, number one, when I first saw this email, I posted about it. I said, number one, I don't even know if this email is true.
So Zach reported on this email. You can't see it. I reported on it on yesterday's live, and he's claiming that so many people are saying that this is a real email. I only think one person incorrectly claimed that they thought this was a real email. And I think it was a genuine accident because I know this person and this person isn't a dishonest person. And I'm pretty sure that once this person finds out that it's not a real email, they'll correct the record on that. I really apologize that my camera is doing something bizarre. I don't know what it's doing. It's like changing. I can see it in my screen, so I apologize if that's bothering anyone. I'm so sorry. I've tried to fix it multiple times. I've messed with the lighting. I've messed with the camera and the lighting in the back. It just keeps doing it. So I deeply apologize if that's bothering anyone. I'll make sure that next show it won't happen. But so he's trying to use this email as grounds to say how crazy we are, and that people are actually toting this out as a real email. No, you can see under the post, the guy said he put this in Grok. He wanted to see what an email would look like if TPUSA, and he said it underneath in I don't know, like the description or whatever underneath. It's not a real email. So I mean, only certain people would try to pass this off as something it's not. So let's continue. Why isn't that? There we go. I want to get to the next part because he goes on this for a while.
Whether it's me and Lisa Knows or some of the other content creators that I've had on, I guess there's some coordination there, but it's with our own show, right? There's not this systemic coordination that's going on in mass. What we do know is we've had systemic coordination going on from the very beginning with Candace's folks.
I think I missed the part where he says that he coordinated with Andrew Colvett, and he acts like that wasn't, or that must be later. I think that's later on. Hold on.
And I want to share this tab with you right here. So this guy was bringing this up, and he basically said, well, you know what? Let's go to the original question and comment. Here we go. William here said, dude, you have to be honest. If a group of people come and say the same thing, almost verbatim, you would claim something is fishy. It comes off mockingbird-ish. Not saying yeah or no on the payment claims because I simply don't know, but Mockingbird Media, many of you look at. I said, you mean like how Ian Carroll, Ryan Matta, Baron Coleman, Project Constitution, Diligent Denizen, Stu Peters, Coach Colin, and many more have been coordinating with and parroting Candace Owens from the very beginning.
Does he not realize we all watch Candace Owens? That doesn't mean there's some grand conspiracy coordination, right? And we're all watching the same investigation. We're all watching the same appearances at TPUSA and Erica Kirk. We're all seeing the same trial updates with Tyler Robinson. I mean, we're all coming to similar conclusions. Okay. It's not coordination. Let me show you guys this. Okay. And then maybe we'll come back to him or maybe not because God, I just can't do too much of him. Let's see where he talked. Yeah, here we go. So this is Zach Costello. Like I said, if you don't know who he is, go over. He's got Instagram, he's got X, and he's got a YouTube channel. He's amazing. Give him a follow on each one.
By an overwhelming majority, support the Candace Owens investigation into the Charlie Kirk.
Sorry, I played it a little too early. He said he put a post on X and a poll on X, and over 50,000 people took the poll, and he's going to explain this in a second.
What's going on, everybody? Well, the people have spoken. The people, by an overwhelming majority, support the Candace Owens investigation into the Charlie Kirk assassination. Most of you guys are aware because I covered it yesterday, but these poll results are final. Look at this. And you can go see this poll for yourself on X. 49,057 votes, wherein 94% of the responders say that they support Candace Owens. 6% do not. I can see who reposted this, and many who oppose Candace Owens did share this poll. And these are still the results. I was even encouraging critics, like, please, begging them, share this. I want your side to put their input in. Like, I was trying to help the side that opposes Candace Owens and have coordinated this call that she's evil, demonic, etc. I'd say 50,000 votes is a pretty solid sample size, given that it was shared over 2,000 times. These numbers are insane, but I am not surprised. All of these large accounts, and I want to show you guys this list that everybody is losing their minds over right now. This list, the allegation is that these accounts got paid. They're denying it. They're threatening to sue, I mean, whatever. The point is that there was a hive mind type of mentality.
I am surprised that Gary isn't on here, though. Yeah, but we got Graham Allen's on here, Ben Shapiro, Ruben, Bongino, Laura Loomer. Yeah.
To attack Candace Owens, and it was coordinated by a small proportion of large accounts on X with significant influence. Think of the Pareto principle. 20% 20% of the influencers have 80% of the influence on X. That's what the Pareto principle means. They don't represent what the people actually believe. The thought behind the poll in the first place was I wanted to see what the people believed. And this came from seeing these accounts and their posts and then reading the comments on them. These big accounts, they put out these hit pieces on Candace Owens, these coordinated hit posts. And if you actually go and read the comments, like go and read the comments on them and just look down. Like a majority of them that actually like get put out there and get reach, they don't actually agree with the poster.
And that's exactly what Gary was complaining about and saying that that's indicative of us or the algorithm or bots having a coordinated attack on him and his channel and his, videos. And I think it's just crazy because clearly if everyone that's paying attention, and I go in the comments, I'm in the comments. And he said, the majority of people are in support of Candace Owens, okay? And many people took this that aren't Candace supporters. It's on both sides. We want to know what she finds because most people don't believe everything that's been said and what Erica and TPUSA is saying and doing. I want to show this, okay? Let's see, yeah. And I don't know if you guys have seen this. This is a very interesting little clip that I found.
I'm Henry Dels, and I witnessed the murder of Charlie Kirk.
I have to make sure it doesn't show anything. I think I've already watched this through, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't, but I'll check one.
When that happened, my mind kept replaying the moments and the sound.
And I hear a crack pop off.
I was a sniper and I had that sort of training. I was surprised that anyone thought he was a professional. If a pro would have done it, this case would have never been solved.
My name is Natalie Clausen, and I was here at UVU the day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. But he was right over here. They had him in a tent area. This whole place was full of people. So the whole scenery looks so much different. Yeah. And this whole pavilion area was full, but then all the way back too. And then a lot of.
And at first, when I watched this, I was skeptical of this lady and what she was going to say about it. But the more you watch, the more you'll see, is what I'm showing. It's a good little interview with her and her son. But I also reading the guidelines that came out with YouTube. I do have to pause and interject so that my stream doesn't get interrupted and I get dinged for having unoriginal content and just playing someone's video by itself. Okay.
These overhangs, like a lot of the, there are people up above over here, people over there, on every viewpoint. Everybody wanted to see people in the windows, like everybody wanted to be part of this. We were so excited to see Charlie. We're big fans of Charlie Kirk in our family. In fact, my parents were there and 3 of my sisters came and we brought our children. So we had about 10 kids of us, of my nieces and nephews and 2 of my own kids that were here this day. The tent was right over in this area. It looked a lot different that day. This was all in grass. So since then, I believe it was a Sunday right after they came in and paved it all over.
I do not believe.
How bizarre is that, guys? Wednesday was the assassination. Sunday, they already paved it over. When is that ever allowed on a crime scene? Okay. The destruction of evidence and the crime scene itself, the literal covering up of the crime scene and evidence. The same thing happened with the van. So, and Erica not being outraged about this. Erica and TPUSA not coming out and saying that this is something that's bothering them. that this doesn't allow for a full, in-depth, and honest investigation is just one more thing that, like, the things that we've noticed about this whole thing that bother us, the public, aren't bothering Erica and TPUSA and Andrew Colvin and all them. So all the questions we have, and this mom has, and you'll hear about the official story, the narrative, who did it, how he did it, how he was caught, and all what they tout out as the overwhelming evidence. We all are looking at this and going like, no, it doesn't fit together. It doesn't make sense. But Erica and everyone at TPUSA are saying like, no, we're good. We've seen it all. Well, no, she spoke with Candace. She's seen what we've seen. She knows what we know, but she's saying the same thing. It's good. We're good. It's him. I know. Well, then why are so many of us going, what? None of this is close cut, obvious. And the wife is saying it is. And she appealed to have a rushed, she wants this done in a hurry. That is suspicious. And that adds to the suspicion of Erica Kirk and TPUSA. She's not above reproach. And certain people out there saying that we're slandering her. No, we're not. We're not attacking her. We're not, lobbing personal attacks on Erica. We're calling into question things she said, things she's done, what she's doing, what she's saying still. The days and weeks that led up to the assassination, Charlie's last moments, the day of, all these inconsistencies. And then, yes, we are looking at behavior or the lack thereof consistent grieving widow behavior. So it's the whole picture that's bothering us. And because of this and the lies and the failure on them to actually sit down and answer any of these outright, it's why this is still going on. It's why this is still not solved yet, and why they still look extremely guilty and suspicious to all of us.
Believe that God the Father, the Spirit, and the Son are separate. I believe they are one in the Trinity.
Then after a few minutes, I was kind of back in far enough I couldn't really see Charlie where I was, so I moved over this direction so I could see him closer and get a better view. So I walked over here with two of my kids, and that's where we were when we heard the shot.
We're not counting gang.
I got to skip this part, okay? Okay.
Instantly, my kids and I were separated from each other, which was just, I look back at that moment and think, how did that happen? How did we lose each other so quickly? We were together right here, and then we moved just with the whole crowd of people into the building that direction. And then we were separated right after that. We had my other daughter, who's a ninth grader. She was here, and then she left and couldn't find us, and her phone wasn't working. She found some college students and said, could I go with you? I can't find my mom. And they said, you can come with us.
You hear the shot, which came from this roof up here. Is that right?
Uh-huh.
I think is the most unbelievable thing about the shooting. It's just a quick glance up to see somebody on the roof, which should have raised concern pretty quickly. I just find it pretty hard to believe that not even one single person looked up there.
Did you see anything suspicious that day?
I did not see a lot of law enforcement. I mean, I didn't see anybody that I was aware of. We saw law enforcement come after the shooting. We saw people like SWAT team type people come afterwards. But during it, I didn't see anything. It wasn't until I would go home and see videos of other people. I didn't see a shooter on the roof or any of those things. I saw a lot of protesters who were up above, people that were kind of in the crowd who were.
And I'm trying to recall. So I know that the UVU camera footage of the assailant or whoever running off the roof in like all black clothing isn't timestamped. It's not verified from that day. So there's that. And then I can't remember if Candace ever was able to verify the kids' metadata that when walking up towards the Losi Center and he's filming and there's that person laying down in the prone position, if that was ever proven that that was from the same day or not, or who that individual was. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. But remember, Brian Harple's team was given approval to have one of their own guys on the roof above Charlie, which is looking directly at the Losi Center. So one of their own security members was up there, and one UVU University police was up there. They would have had a direct line of sight. They would have been at the same level. It is the exact same level. And they would have been able to see the person come up the stairs, climb over the railing, walk out to the roof. But remember, based on the indictment, it says that the person gets on the roof, goes over to where that little building is, changes, because they're in supposedly one article of clothing, one outfit, goes over to this building where they go behind the camera, can't see that side. And then they see the suspect low crawling in different clothing out to the shooting position. Okay. So Brian Harple and the cop that was up there, remember Barron said there was a cop up there because that person said when they heard the shot rang out, they looked across and he scanned all the roofs and he's like, aha, that's got to be the spot. And then 25, 30 minutes later, that policeman finally makes it over there, supposedly, and then sees the imprints on the ground of the knees and the feet and supposedly, identifying marks of the sniper's prone position. And it's interesting. This is when they also said they found the screwdriver, but then the screwdriver was later dropped from the documents. And it's not in the official evidence or charging documents or anything in the indictment. So that's interesting too. Okay. And remember I said I do have to pause it periodically and add something so that the stream doesn't get interrupted. Okay, guys?
Saying things, but I do have concerns. I think that a lot of the questions, a lot of the information that we're giving doesn't seem to make sense. And again, like with Charlie's legacy, I think we should be able to ask questions. I think we should be careful not to point fingers at people. We've seen a lot of that happening too, but we should be able to ask questions. And I want the FBI to do a thorough search on it.
So did Charlie have a big impact on your generation? Did a lot of people know who he was and listen to him?
Yeah, I know a bunch of people from my school and friends who've always
yes.
listened to him. And
I feel like I went through a lot of shock with probably the rest of the world. It was shock, especially being here when that happened. My mind kept replaying the moments and the sound and trying to imagine that is what happened here in Utah. And this campus is such a beautiful place. And there are so many wonderful people here.
How did you and your friends react when you heard that he died?
Just
he was sad. Okay. I'm skipping his part because he has trouble saying some words and it takes him a long time. And the parts, it's the mom talking and then this FBI agent later that we're going to listen to the story he tells.
Do you trust the official story from the FBI?
I mean, I have a lot of questions about it.
Yep.
I think the text messages seemed a little strange. And I think the narrative that we've been told through the media that he was on the roof and they assembled the gun and then unassembled it and then left in the woods. And a lot of those things to me don't make sense. So I recognize that the FBI has information that we don't have information, and that the attorneys and the defense team and prosecutors. So we don't see the full picture. I recognize that, but I do think that there are a number of outstanding questions out there that the public needs to know the answers to.
And this was the Mormon dude that asked Charlie the first set of questions. I think it's Henry Dell.
I'm Henry Dells, and I witnessed the murder of Charlie Kirk. I think Charlie...
It's such a weird thing to say when you sit down for an interview. I don't know if they asked him to say that or he did that on his own. That stuck out to me. That's just a weird way to start an interview. He could have said, I was the last person to have a full debate back and forth before he was assassinated. It's a weird way to phrase the beginning of this.
For me, showed me how to be firm in my beliefs and not to be afraid of my beliefs. He taught me to have the courage.
He says what a lot of people like myself agree about what Charlie Kirk did for them about their faith, gave them courage to be, or gave them an example of how to be courageous about their faith.
You got to ask your question. What happened next?
I grabbed my bag, told Charlie thanks for the conversation, all that stuff. I turned around and I was like, okay, well, I'll figure this out here in a little bit. I want to listen to what Charlie's saying to this next person. And I hear a crack pop off. And for like 2 seconds, it seemed fine whenever I was looking around. Then I looked to the right of me and I saw Charlie leaning back and then over, but also seeing a bunch of blood gushing out of his neck, which I'm 15 feet away. I can clearly see it was his neck.
Did you see anything suspicious when you were at the event?
The weirdest thing for me was understanding the recent history within our nation when it came to political violence and the fact that there was no drones and there was very little security.
Some of the people,
I find that extremely weird too, guys. I mean, this is after the whole Butler assassination attempt on Trump and the complete debacle that the Secret Service went under fire for, that their lack of preparation and using drones and putting people on roofs. And what Brian Harpel and Dan Flood and the team was ignorant of this whole thing, that they're like, whatever we do, Charlie's getting bigger and bigger. He helped Trump get elected. We can't end up looking like the Secret Service did. Yeah, it's bizarre. A little intentional, so to speak. I'm going to jump ahead to this guy because this guy is clearly here to be a mouthpiece for the FBI, for the Fed slop narrative. And there are so many holes in what he says.
So can you just start by saying your name and
Sure.
a bit about your career, just one sentence?
Greg Rogers, retired from the Federal Bureau of Investigation, was there for 30 years, and now I'm a professor in criminal justice at Utah Valley University.
So can you take us through your career, some of the kind of responsibilities that you had?
So not only is he a former FBI agent, he's also a criminal justice professor at UVU. Huh. That's bizarre. They could have interviewed a number of people. This guy just happened to be the one they chose. And he just happens to spout the narrative that he spouts. Interesting.
12 years of my career, I was a full-time undercover working with biker gangs, militia groups. I did a lot of cases where I'd get hired to kill people. I did a lot of hitman cases.
So when Charlie was shot, immediately there was theories about who did it,
right?
What happened, why it happened. Even before they arrested someone, they accused of murdering him.
Right.
And those theories immediately, for example, a lot of people said that this was a professional job.
I was a sniper and I had that sort of training. I was surprised that anyone thought he was a professional. That theory was nonsense because he made mistake after mistake. It couldn't have been more amateurish. He was wearing all black, laying on a white roof. He would have been easily seen.
Well, it's not a white roof, number one. It's like dark gray over there. He is wearing all black, but notice that he's trying to point out that it's obvious to him, a professional, that it was an amateur kid that didn't know what he was doing that did this. So he's pointing that he believes in the official narrative, and he believes that everything points to it being Tyler Robinson. That's interesting. We've all been watching the same stuff. But here's the thing. If there was anyone up there and either it was or it wasn't Tyler Robinson, none of us actually believe at least I don't, and most people don't believe that Charlie Kirk was assassinated with a bullet, a 30-06 from the Losi Center. I played that clip the other day with Mike Ritland and that SAS sniper. None of these special forces guys believe it at all. They all think the mechanism of death, the movement, the way Charlie moved, the blood, everything, they think it's the mic. They think it's not a bullet at all. But Gary would have you believe that everyone that's been in the military believes what he believes. No. I wish Mike Ritland and Gary would do a show together. Yeah. Gary would, he would lose it all. I mean,
not a good shot, and we could go into all sorts of detail about that, the ballistics and everything else, but it was a poor shot from a short distance. No trained assassin leaves their weapon at the crime scene. That it doesn't happen. So
yeah, but we know that nobody left the weapon at the crime scene, ladies and gentlemen. They searched the crime scene 3 times. I think the third time was the bomb sniffing dog. I think the local police searched it 2 times. The third time was the bomb sniffing dogs, found nothing. FBI comes, they search it a 4th time, find nothing. Then they employ the 2 local police who have less than a year put together. They search it the 5th time, this same area of woods. And then they find it just right there with a towel too. Remember, with the towel. And so he's trying to use the official narrative as it's being hoisted at us and thrown at us. And he's using these talking points that the FBI is using and saying that these point to Tyler, an amateur, not a professional. That's not an accident. He knows what he's doing, and I think it's extremely dishonest, and he's there to push the official narrative. That's my opinion. And I think it's obvious that that's what's happening.
Immediately, you knew this was an amateur.
Yes.
And this couldn't have been, for example, a foreign government hiring a hitman to kill Charlie Kirk. So we can
rule that. Wait,
rule that out.
We can rule that out. Yes, we can rule that out. Okay. Why doesn't he bring up the exploding mic theory? Why doesn't so they conflate a bunch of different theories all in one, and then they pick a couple parts from different theories, put them together in one theory, and then say, because no one that believes Philly was involved thinks that Philly hired a hitman and that the hitman was on the roof and that the hitman shot the 30-06. No one believes that. We also don't know 100% yet what part each person played. We think we have a good understanding of the mechanism of death. And John Bray released a brand new video on X today. I reposted it on my profile. You can go look at it. It is, I think it's very eye-opening to the mechanism of death being the mic, the exploding mic. But we can't show it on here because it has too much of what happened that day to show the movement of the shirt and the necklace and Charlie and all that. But you guys can go over on X and look at that. But this guy's being dishonest, and I think that either the reporter is ignorant and naive, or he knows what he's doing and he's asking very leading questions on purpose.
You can rule that out. As I mentioned to you, I had did a number of hitman cases undercover, and I would explain to the people that were hiring me how this was going to happen. And when you hire a pro who knows what they're doing, none of the things that he did you'd have never seen it. You'd have had no idea where the round came from, and he'd have been gone.
Right. And I agree with that if it were a professional. But we don't think a professional hitman got on the roof and took the shot. But we also don't think Tyler Robinson took the shot. And we think that all the evidence, the camera footage, the rifle, all point to a different mechanism of death, and that whoever was on the roof that day wasn't even Tyler, most likely didn't even have a rifle with them, because you don't see the rifle in his hand as he jumps off the roof. He has something in his hand. It looks like a shirt, a jacket, or a towel. He has his backpack, but a 30-06 would not fit under any of those things, inside of any of those things, and you can't break it down. And he talks about the breaking down part. He talks that a trained individual with the right tools could break it down in 30 seconds. An untrained would take a minute or more. Okay. The shot happened at 12:23. The beginning of that video of the kid running happened like a couple seconds after. The kid was already in a dead sprint. That's not enough time to disassemble the rifle. And the official story is that he disassembled it after the shot, put it somewhere, hid it on him, backpack or in the towel, jumped off the roof, made it across the woods, then reassembled it, and then left it there. Even that mom is like, that doesn't make any sense. And it's physically impossible. He says a trained individual could disassemble it in like 30 seconds. How about 2? No. How about 3? No. 4? No.
Okay, so I'm going to take you through some of the conspiracy theories, and maybe you can debunk or agree with them. I don't know.
Sure.
Joe Rogan, the podcaster, said that Tyler Robinson, this is the man accused of killing Charlie Kirk, maybe he's a patsy. They said that he took the gun apart and put it back together again. Do you know how much time it would take to disassemble a rifle so that you can get it in a backpack?
You can take a gun apart and put it in a backpack in about 30 seconds. If you aren't trained and have no idea what you're doing, it should take you about a minute.
Right. So does this guy know? He must know. Like he's claiming to be a professional, former FBI agent, crime scene professor at UVU. He's got to have seen the footage. The bang rang out at 12:23. The kid is in a dead sprint on the Losi Center within 2 to 3 seconds. Maybe even less. I forget. I got to see when that time the video footage starts. In fact, we could even maybe pull it up and take a look at it. Losi Center footage. Oh wait, I didn't spell that right. Let's see. Hold on one second. Tyler Robinson, UVU. All right, here we go. Let's go to videos. Hopefully let me pause it. All right, let's see. Let me share. Okay, hold on. Let me make it big for you guys here. Let me make it big for you guys here. Holy smokes, you guys. Look at the timestamp. Let me back it up. 12:23 and 34 seconds. The shot rang out. Well, I guess we'd have to look at the video of the assassination of what second. We know that it happened at 12:23, the bang rang out, but at what second during the 12:23, the minute 23, did the shot ring out? Did it happen right at 12:23 and 00 seconds or 001? Or did it happen at 12:23 and 30 seconds or 15 seconds? I mean, that is important. This video starts at 12:23 and 34 seconds. And what you can see, can you guys see my green cursor? I hope you can. Okay. Let's see. I don't know why it's not showing up on there, but it is over here, this corner of the roof. Oh yeah, you can see it. Cool. Way over here is the roof. Here is the kid right here running. So that's not enough time for him to be over here, take the shot, get up from the prone position, disassemble the gun, put the gun in the backpack or inside the towel, and be at a dead sprint and be at least 15 to 20 feet from the shooting position. It's just not plausible. And then he goes behind this building. And this is the building, ladies and gentlemen, where the kid, so the stairs to get up on the roof are over here. And so let's see, from this angle, you can't see. I'll pull it up on Google Maps, but they would have been able to see the cop and the security guard that was on top of the building behind Charlie. It would have been over here. They could have seen this corner. They would have seen him climb up the stairs, go over the railing, walk all the way over here, get behind this building, change behind this building, and then low crawl all the way over here to the shooting position. And supposedly they saw nothing. He's going to come out right here. Do you guys see a rifle in his hand, on his back? No, you see his two hands. He's got a jacket. He throws the jacket on the ground. It has nothing solid inside of it. He grabs the jacket, jumps down, and then runs away, and it replays it a couple times, and that's that.
Okay, so this is a 3-in-1 conspiracy. So I'm going to give you, they're all different, but they're basically the same. The military was involved. In other words, the US military was involved.
Right.
The French Foreign Legion were involved. This person claims that the French Foreign Legion sort of trained the assassin, or Mossad was involved because Charlie Kirk was becoming more anti-Israel in the last few months of his life. So French Foreign Legion, Mossad, or the US military were involved somehow in his assassination.
I did a lot of training with military snipers. Military snipers can shoot someone from 1,000 yards any day of the week. It's an easy shot for them. They train at that range all the time. If it were a Mossad, certainly, or a military sniper, they would have been so far away that Kirk would have fallen over dead with a headshot before anybody even heard the bullet go off, because the speed of sound is a whole lot slower than the round. So it's he'd have dropped over. About a second later, you'd have heard a very faint sound of, maybe you might have heard it because it had been a good distance away, and that person would have been packed up and gone. There would have been zero evidence left. If a pro would have done it.
Yeah, but he keeps talking about if a pro would have done it. Yeah, we don't think a pro did it, my man. All right, I'm going to go here. Make sure you guys can see this. All right, you can. Cool. Let me get this out of the way. All right, so let me see if I can zoom in. All right, and then can I turn it? All right, so this right here is the roof in which the policeman and the security guard were. The stairs. This was also taped off right here and right here. A temporary no trespass zone. No one was allowed up here. Okay, let's see if it'll let me keep turning it. Let's see if it keeps turning. All right, so let me back up. This right here is the roof. Here's that building right here. Okay. And I'll back up a little bit more to show you guys where he would have climbed up. Here's the stairs right here. Okay. He would have climbed up right here. And there's like a little fence. He just climbs over. He walks over here, changes, and then supposedly he crawls. That's got to be like 100 and something feet. My assumption is he probably like maybe is on his hands and knees. And then maybe as he gets to right about here, he then low crawls out to this point right here. Okay. Okay. And then you can see this is where Charlie was offset. He wasn't directly in the center. He actually was a little bit over here. All right. Because if he had been over here, this roof right here probably would have been blocking the line of sight. All right. And wouldn't have been able to get Charlie, or they wouldn't have been able to use that as a possible shooting point and say that Tyler could have taken the shot. Because when they do the trajectory from Charlie, it has to be an unobstructed, perfect line directly to the shooting point. Okay. And if he was, if Charlie was over here, this would have been over. That wouldn't have been a plausible story, and they couldn't have pinned it on Tyler. Right here, this is where the policeman, and the security guard were. They would have seen directly right here. Perfect line of sight. And we know that because the cop said after the shot rang out, I'm going to let it turn again. Hold on. Because it'll spin, and then I can stop it. Oh, man, stop. Right here. Would have seen it perfectly. Let me back up a little. Right here, because Charlie was offset, so he'd have been here. They were standing over here, because there is a camera footage and a video where you can see them up here. They're standing right here. All right. And they would have been able to see directly across right there. And they for sure would have seen, let me back up. They for sure would have seen this young man climb up the stairs, climb over the railing, walk all the way over to right here. They wouldn't have seen him change because this building does obstruct that view. But then as he came back out, they would have seen him reemerge. Okay. And to a trained eye, to a cop, and to a security guard that had prior military experience, your peripheral would have picked up on that. They're scanning different zones. Okay. Their job isn't to be looking at Charlie. So it's not like they're distracted looking down. They're up there. They're looking out. They're looking around. They're paying attention. They're looking in the crowd. They're looking at the roofs. They're looking at everything around. They would have seen someone climb up over the railing, onto the roof, walk over, would have disappeared behind the building, and then came back out, back to that shooting position. But they didn't. And I don't know that anyone was actually there that day. I don't know yet. We'll see.
This case would have never been solved.
Do you expect that there will be more left-wing terrorists attempting to kill conservatives in the years to come?
Yes, I do. People like that are in militia groups or that are.
And that's this whole left versus right, false dialectic, this paradigm, what's his name? Henry Dells said it. Trump said it at the State of the Union. This is why they needed it. They needed to pin it on a crazy leftist so that they could, then connect it to the supposed, attempted assassination of Trump and really put this angle that the left is becoming more and more violent and a danger. And we need to, put an end to this. It fits that narrative that they're all trying to push. And he's
in far left extremist groups, they're looking for a reason. And I hung out with them for years, so I can say this with assurance. They don't need a whole lot of reason to do what they want to do. So if you convince someone that a politician is really a fascist or that they're going to take all sorts of your rights away, that gives someone who's already an extremist an excuse to act out. Unfortunately.
So that's the majority of it. We don't need to watch any more of that. How are you guys doing in the chat? Let me get to some comments. Okay. And let me gauge if you guys are tired, how you guys are doing. Nina V2G4Z. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Very generous. Thank you so much. Mystic Gypsy, thank you for the super sticker. And twice, thank you, Mystic. KJ Mama, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you guys so much. Let's see, how are you guys doing? I'm here for it. All right. I love insight. Thumbs up in the chat if you want to keep on. Thank you, Mystic. Way to go. We're up. Let's go, Max. All right, cool. Let me show you guys some things that Despicable Gary. Let me back up a little. No, that's where it starts. Okay.
Link right now, Jesus. I told you should come on and talk a little while. You know what? Just in case that you're able to do that, you want to jump on here. I'm going to send you a guest link if you want to jump on and you have the time to do that. If not, we can we can definitely schedule something. I've been wanting. He's on the other side of the world. We got to get him in the United States. We need Jesus. Jesus Austin delivery. I mean, he's extremely funny, and on top of that, extremely factual. And that's something that we say this real quick because I thought it was a little bit funny. Ian Carroll decided to jump in. Gary, you're a funny man. If you did any research of your own, you would know that it takes time, but you don't, do you? That's a question mark that you should have thrown in there, Ian. But besides that, my reply is, oh, unlike your lazy dipshit cult leader who never gets her elitist ass out of the studio. Not even once. I do plenty of research. My God, man, quit being such a bitch ass simp. It's effing embarrassing.
So that's this Christian dude on his channel with all that language. And that's a personal attack on Candace and Ian. I didn't hear Ian attack Gary ever like that. I've never heard Candace attack Gary like that with that language. It's very disgusting. It's telling what kind of man he is. He's so mad that he has to resort to that kind of language. He made a post. He's reading a post that he wrote and posted, and that's out there. And then he's going to go in and continue to attack Ian Carroll.
We all know the answer at the end of the day of your research, the Jews. Just start with that and save us all some time. Because
I'll keep playing, but hold on. So Ian Carroll is a legit researcher. Say what you will if you don't like him or not. Go watch all of his exposés on Einstein, on the Las Vegas shooting, what he covered on the Charlie Kirk assassination so far. Gary wants to say like he's the only person that went out and on the grounds. No, he's not. Ian Carroll did too. Okay. And like that is anything. Like that's proof of anything substantial. Maybe a lot of people have jobs and can't do that. Thank goodness Ian could, because this is Ian's full-time job. Ian is say what you will about Ian. I don't like everything he says on his show. He's a young guy. He's an unmarried guy. I don't know where he's at in his faith, but I know he is more conservative, and he's definitely on the side, I think, of truth. He wants truth to be free and to be transmitted to all of us. He's about exposing corruption. Is it really Ian's fault? Is it really Candace's fault if, while they are investigating different corruption, disgusting individuals, and the political structure in different governments, is it really Ian or Candace's fault if some of the people that are tied to those crimes and corruption, is it really their fault if they're Jewish? If those individuals are Jewish? Is that Ian and Candace's fault? Or do you want them to not report on the fact that it seems that there is this network of individuals which don't represent all Jews? No, not at all. Okay. Most traditional, normal, common Jews don't fit into this category. It's these very, very rich, affluent, secular, atheistic Jews that control so much of everything, whether that's companies, countries, organizations, and that have had a history of being involved in multiple different types of corruption. Are you saying that in the pursuit of truth and doing an investigation, if Candace and Ian just seem to find this time and time again, you just want them to leave that part out of their story? You would prefer it that they report on their findings, but they can't report on the fact that it seems that most of these people are these B'nai B'rith, atheistic, secular Jews that seem to all be in unison when they do some of these crimes and corruption and disgusting things. That's not Ian's fault. That doesn't make him an anti-Semite, just like it doesn't make Tucker Carlson an anti-Semite. It doesn't make Candace an anti-Semite. It doesn't make me one either. Give me a break. Gary's playing all his cards, and it's showing more and more, I think, who is behind him, what he is defending, who he is attacking, what he is saying. He's showing his cards, in my opinion.
that is Ian Carroll's message time and time again, is no matter what he's covering, at the end of it, we're going to do some Jew smuggling in there, and the Jews are the problem. And look, I haven't thrown a lot of shade at Ian Carroll or attacked him. I like Ian Carroll. I think he's wrong on everything. There's been a couple of times at the beginning of all this where he was very honest. That being said, I do think, you know what? I don't know what his motivations are. I have his phone number, and I've talked to him, and I've sent him texts early on. I was like, hey, man, I'd like to get you on and just hear your worldview. I am curious where all of this, and I've watched lots of this stuff, so I understand what he presents, but I want to get to the bottom of, like, it makes zero sense at the end of the day, where the Jews are the problems for everything. And now
no one's claiming that. No one has made a comment, a claim, verbatim what you just said, that the Jews are the problem for everything. We're pointing out specific instances in history and in the present day where certain individuals like Einstein, what's happening in Philly and in Gaza, what's happening with the infiltration of them in our Christian organizations here with the Show Faith by Works, the FAR filings, the Clock Tower X FAR filings. Ian reported on that. I've reported on that. Danks has reported on that. That's the Foreign Ministry of Philadelphia. They're paying many, many millions of dollars to force propaganda in Christian churches, universities, and at TPUSA and AmFest events. And they're collecting data and surveillance on us. Who is that? That's the Foreign Ministry of Philly. So what, we can't report on that? Oh, we're anti-Semites for noticing. Yep. Just like Tucker, he's an anti-Semite for noticing. Oh, and don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, this is what they were saying about Charlie before he was assassinated. Okay?
Now we have Candace Owens. And I called Ian Carroll Candace Owens' sim.
That's so...
Because he does come to her defense more often than not. To be honest, though, I think that Candace Owens is influenced more by Ian Carroll than the other way around. And I do think Ian Carroll actually leads the way and has helped spread this. You can call it anti-Semitic or whatever you want. But it's clearly like, it is prejudiced to believe that the Jews in Israel are behind all the bad things that are happening in the United States. No matter what it is, it's the Jews, it's Israel. They're in control of everything. And it is such a, I don't know, nihilistic and black pill attempt. Because that's what it is. It's meant to discourage you. Of course, I wasn't showing that the whole time. I apologize. But here's the actual tweet. So, that's what's going on with this. And these people do want to, the message here is don't vote, and the Jews are the problem behind everything. That's what they want you to believe. And that is so antithetical to what Charlie Kirk was saying, was doing. And just like here on this.
So Gary's an expert in what Charlie Kirk was saying and doing at the end. Charlie wanted people to vote for Trump. Okay. He would completely have changed his whole stance now. Everything that's happening in Iran, in Venezuela, with Trump and the Einstein files, it was a big deal for him. Okay. And I don't think, oh yeah, I remember. Guess what? Candace isn't the one that initiated I don't want you to go vote. Remember, Tim Pool, when this whole attack started on Candace Owens regarding the Egyptian planes and Fort Huachuca and Erica Kirk, he said she's splitting up the Republican Party and we're going to lose the midterms. She's going to destroy the Republican Party. That's when Candace said, we don't care about the midterms right now. She never on her own came out and said, nobody go vote. screw the system, blah, 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 blah. No, she was responding to Tim Pool's attack and appeal. Like, everyone stop investigating Erica Kirk. Everyone stop listening to Candace Owens. Everyone make sure that we all stay together in a nice little huddle against the left. Everyone needs to vote. Everyone needs to move on. The midterms. It's like what Pam Bondi was doing when she was testifying. What about the Dow? What about the NASDAQ? Okay, we don't care about the things you guys are saying we should care about right now. We're telling you the things we care about. These are the things we voted you into office so that you cared about. You said you cared about them. You said you were going to investigate them. You said there was going to be transparency and honesty, and there hasn't been. So now you're telling us, no, be a good little Republican and turn out to vote for Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz and whoever else in the midterms. We gotta win. It's Republicans versus Democrats. No, we're not serving you anymore. We're done serving you. You've made it clear you don't serve us. We are the people. You're supposed to serve us. We're the ones that ultimately supposedly vote you guys into office so that you serve the will of the people. Everything you promised us, you lied. We're telling you what we care about. You're negating it. So yeah, I think we don't care about what you care about anymore. And that doesn't mean Candace or Ian are trying to burn the whole thing down. No. We're saying we're kind of done with you. Because you clearly are done with us. And we're just sick of it. We're so done. We're done with it, you know? I don't want to believe that our system is so systemically corrupt and broken that it's past repair. I really don't want to believe. I mean, look, guys, I'm not an anarchist at all. But it looks like the people we voted in to drain the swamp, to fix the system, to make it accountable, to make it transparent, to hold others accountable, to seek justice, to right the ship, to turn it around. That's what Charlie thought. That's why he fought so hard for Trump and all of them. He believed it. He was a true believer. You guys are, what is that? The Christmas Chronicles? True believer. Charlie was a true believer in this cause. He wouldn't have fought so hard. He wouldn't have been so emotional and cried when they announced Trump won. He really thought this was going to be something that turned the tide back to the people and put the United States back on a Christian path. And it hasn't, and it didn't. And so I don't think Charlie would be standing here telling everyone, keep going, go vote, keep this going. He really thought by getting Trump and his administration in there, this would change everything. Notice that Hillary, she got to go testify in a closed session. We didn't get to see the videos of that, did we? No. That seems like a dog and pony show, a circus. I'm beginning to think, I don't even know if the Les Wexner deposition was genuine at all, if anything's going to come from it, or if it was just to give the appearance that they're investigating, that they're being really tough on some of these, perpetrators. I mean, okay, you can depose him. He seemed to have his lawyer there and you forced him to answer, but he didn't really answer anything. That doesn't mean anything. Okay, are there charges? We want to see people in handcuffs. We want to see people charged and convicted. Sorry, not just in handcuffs. That's a step. A deposition, okay, maybe if that's the prelude to the arrest. Ultimately, the only thing that's going to prove to us that things are being dealt with and taken care of is convictions, sentences. that money can't buy them out of this, that they can't skate justice, guaranteed Charlie would be speaking up in volumes right now if he was watching all this happen. So yeah, I mean, we don't care about what you're telling us to go care about, Gary. And the fact that you're spouting the same talking points as TPUSA and Erica Kirk and Tim Pool. Yeah, see, the things that you're saying are our talking points. They're not really talking points. None of us are coordinating. Okay. Zach isn't coordinating with Candace. I mean, Barron talks with Candace, but he's only been on her show once. Ian's doing his own thing. You guys are saying things not in the same words, but they have the same agenda. It's clear that you guys have a same agenda. And that, to me, seems coordinated for sure. And so, yeah, Gary, we don't think you're innocent in this, man, at all. I got another one I'm going to show you guys, but let me get this while I pull up the other clip.
Tweet that I have up here. You know, hate the Jews and don't vote. My reply to Ian Carroll is upsetting all the Candace cult leftists pretending to be conservatives while telling you not to vote, you know, for Charlie's sake. That's what he would want. Candace is sitting in her head simp, so I must be over the target. I do think it's odd that I got such a huge amount of folks coming after me yesterday, but that means I did something right yesterday. So we'll take that as a badge of honor. Let me just see if we got Candace doing anything. I don't see what's going on here. Let me check the chat real quick. If there's any super chats, I will cover those real quick. And like always, we will.
All right, enough out of you. I got it. Did you guys see this? Wait, where is it? Where is it? Here it is. Hold on. Let's go. So what I think would have been happening for sure. Oh my goodness, why did I do that? Oh, because I didn't hit share. I almost pulled a Barron, ladies and gentlemen. Now I can expand it. Okay. Of course. Hold on. Man. Give me a second. Of course. A stream wouldn't be a stream without something going wrong. I think I figured it out. I think I know what it is. I can't ever pull up X on a tab. I didn't even share the tab. I was going to show something. It was a tab down the line. I pull it up and then I click back to my stream studio. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. For sure, Charlie Kirk would have been doing what Tucker and Megan are doing. They already were. Charlie went on Tucker's show. Megan came on Charlie's show. They were already talking about Philly, talking about Einstein, talking about everything going on since October 7th. 100% Charlie's influence on the next generation and so much of the United States Christian, Republican, individual, citizens would have been. I mean, look at the damage Tucker's doing alone. Tucker and Candace and Megan, when she decides to say certain things. Can you imagine if Charlie was still around right now? Man, it would have been bad for them.
With BB, like they're this close to having the nuclear bomb, like blah, blah. It was one of the aha moments that I've had over the past year when it came to Israel, because I was there. I was at Fox News for each of those UN addresses by Bibi. And the one that I remember in particular where he had the picture of the bomb and it looked like the round bomb that like they do in the cartoons, and said that they're within months. And I was a naive young journalist at Fox who really didn't do a lot of foreign policy coverage. Like, oh, wow, that sounds dire. God, that's bad. We better pay attention if that's true. I think Iran hates us. That's what they say. And they hate Israel. So, wow. And here we were 14 years removed from that speech with him saying the same thing. And truly, it's just like over time, if you paid any attention, you realize he's been lying every time. He has an agenda. They weren't.
Okay, so what they're talking about right now, if you guys don't realize it, the largest buildup in the Middle East with the United States military since the Gulf War, it cost billions and billions of dollars to get all those men, all that power, all that machinery over there. You don't do that just to show force. Not everything, not the whole fleet. No. BB's out in, again, coming here 7 times in lead up to this. Since 1996, BB has been saying Iran is months, weeks away from obtaining nuclear, power, enriched uranium to create a nuclear weapon. Since 1996, he's saying they're this close. They're this close. Okay, so if they were weeks and months away then, but they didn't get it then, and you've been saying it every time since then, since 1996, why should we believe you now? And I thought we just bombed them back into the Stone Age, their nuclear program. I thought it was done. Success. What are you talking about? So the threat is still there? No, we should not be believing BB anymore. Why are our politicians, why is our government allowing him to come over here and have all that airtime 7 times and speak directly to Congress, and to spout lies? He is the reason. He's the one that said Iraq was going to have a nuclear weapon and that they had weapons of mass destruction. That's a lie. Remember, Tucker called Huckabee out on that. Huckabee goes like, that wasn't a lie. Yes, it was. And it came from Mossad. Yes, it was. It's been proven, dude.
He's said it for years. If they were within months of getting the bomb back then, that was, I think, 2012. Why are we now at 2026 and they don't have it? And you ran a similar clip on your show, I think it was last night, from dating back to the mid-90s.
Yes.
We're going to show it in part here. Watch.
The most dangerous of these regimes is Iran, that has wed a cruel despotism to a fanatic militancy. Only the United States can lead this vital international effort to stop the nuclearization of terrorist states. But the deadline for attaining this goal is getting extremely close. The 2 nations that are vying, competing with each other, who will be the first to achieve nuclear weapons, is Iraq and Iran. And Iran, by the way, is also outpacing Iraq in the development of ballistic missile systems.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about 90% of having the enriched uranium for an atom bomb. They're rushing forward with their enrichment program.
By next spring, at most, by next summer,
2012 with the bomb.
At current enrichment rates, they will have finished the medium enrichment and move on to the final stage. From there, it's only a few months, possibly a few weeks, before they get enough enriched uranium for the first bomb. You don't want this Iran to have neither nuclear weapons or the capability to make nuclear weapons, to enrich uranium for a nuclear bomb in short order, in a few weeks or a few months. They could do that unless that's changed. With this massive capacity, Iran could make the fuel for an entire nuclear arsenal.
And it goes on till 2026. And he continues to spout the same nonsense and lies. Nobody should be listening to him. No doubt Charlie was onto it. And he was done. He was done. He said it. I'm done. I am abandoning the pro-Philadelphian cause. And then we know now, as reported on Barron's show, he was converting to Catholicism. That would have been the nail in the coffin. BB and them finding that out. They probably were panicking. This is not good. This is not good. I'm going to show you guys something. If you guys remember on Candace Owens' show tonight, she was talking about Tyler Boyer, and she couldn't remember the name of the company that Lori Fronsvie and Tyler Boyer are both on the board of. Okay. Let me make sure you guys can see this. Cool. You can see it. Based on the filings, okay, as of late 2022, 2024, the board of directors for Superfeed Technologies, a company that develops get out the vote apps for Republican groups with close ties to Turning Point USA includes, it also collects data, ladies and gentlemen. Go watch Danks on what else Superfeed does. So the people on the board are Tyler Boyer, Chief Operating Officer. Sorry, my throat is killing me all of a sudden. Of Turning Point Action, and formerly the chairman of the board, because she was talking about the $12 million that went missing from Turning Point Action. Chief Operating Officer, Turning Point Action, Tyler Boyer. He's on the board of Superfeed Technologies. Lori Francevy, mother-in-law of Turning Point founder Charlie Kirk. Lori Klein Corbin, former Arizona state legislator. And then Jeff DeWitt served as CEO. Okay. Very, very bizarre. And for those of you that don't know, let's see. I can go here. No, I'll show you. No, those aren't the pictures I'm going to show you. All right. So this is Tyler Boyer, right? For those of you that don't know. Oh, no, that's not what I was trying to do. But that is Tyler Boyer. Sorry. I didn't mean to pull up a video tab. It was just the picture of Tyler Boyer. Sorry. Okay. And yeah. All right. Let me go back because this is. Yep. All right. Well, let me see how you guys are doing. We are at almost 2 hours, ladies and gentlemen. You guys are such troopers. All right, we have another super. It is Nina V2G4Z. Thank you so much for your super. Love your comment. Oh, wait, I need to click on it. Well, let me start over. So Nina gets credit for super sticker. Thank you so much. Then we had, these are ones I read off earlier, but I forgot to click. We got Mystic gifting or giving a super sticker. Mystic giving a super sticker. Then we have KJ Mama giving a super sticker. Thank you so much. And then right here's Nina. Love your commentary here. Go Max. Thank you, Nina. And then we have Mystic gifted 5 Blackline memberships. Blackline brief memberships. Thank you, Mystic. All right, let's see. I'll read a couple chats. Bree just read your reply. Yeah, that was my question to Mystic about the email. What email? Let's see. Did 2 Danks is good. Yeah, Danks is good. Yeah, matchmaker, Tyler Boyer. This is the 5th Tyler related to the case. Tyler Robinson, Tyler Boyer, Tyler in the music video EK filmed with and kissed JT Tyler Massey. Oh, I didn't know JT stood for something Tyler Massey. Interesting. Well, I mean, that is interesting that there's that many Tylers, but making it rain memberships. Yeah, she is, Renita. Let's see. Where did I miss that? Freemasons everywhere. Chat. Y'all have been fabulous. Yes, they have. Let's see. Yeah, I did videos on that like a while ago. I saw the signs. I mean, I think it's all but inevitable. If you watch, so let me see if I can show this. Let's see. Where is, you guys need to go watch this episode of Tucker Carlson. Wait, why is my subtitles in a different language? That's weird. I need to change that. I'll change it later. So this is Clayton Morris from Redacted and Tucker Carlson. He does a great opening and then gets into this whole thing. Oh my gosh, you guys didn't see it because I didn't switch my share. Sorry, guys. You were looking at all those pictures. Clayton Morris here with Tucker Carlson. You guys need to go back and for sure watch this episode. The thumbnail, let's see if I can go back and show you what the thumbnail looks like. Here's the thumbnail right here. It's neocon hysteria. You guys should watch that. But yeah, they said it's all but inevitable. Some of the people in the mass media are saying it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And that once you move everything over there and the ball rolls, this massive bureaucratic system, the military and the military industrial complex, you can't really put it back in the bottle. And I think that even if Trump tried to avoid war, Tucker lays out very astutely, Israel, Philly could allow or provoke some sort of attack, which would then cause an attack on us over there in the Gulf. You know, another Gulf of Tonkin. Oh no, we got to go to war. It's so sad, you guys. You know, Charlie cautioned Trump against the initial war that Bibi was wanting back when Trump listened to Charlie and only bombed Fordo. Charlie told Trump, you can't do this. We can't go to war with Iran, man. I think they got Charlie out of the way for so many reasons when they really knew what Charlie was for, what he was against, the threat he posed here in the United States, politically, with TPUSA, with all of the Americans, with the public, the future political Republican Party, Philly. I mean, it's kind of like what you learned about JFK. JFK pissed off a lot of people. And that's why it was so hard to pin down who killed him, because so many parties were involved. Philly, CIA, okay, the mob, the mafia. Many, many people wanted him gone, and they all came together because, you know, like, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. We have a mutual shared interest here of getting this guy out of here. Yeah, I think the same is true about Charlie. Hey, this guy. You don't like him. We don't like him. We all need him gone. Let's figure this out. Let's come to an agreement. Break. Good. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. You're not going to be able to change my mind. All right, guys. Let me see if I got any chats left. I think that's it. Hey, I appreciate you guys so much. Please, please, please hit the like and subscribe. It's the best way to help the channel. You can also do clips and share shorts, your little clipped versions wherever you want. That helps get reach, whether that's on X or Facebook or Instagram or wherever. I have it set up to where you guys can do that. So go ahead and do it. I appreciate all of you guys so much. Your love, your support. The feeling is mutual. I love you guys. I support you guys. I hope you guys have a good Thursday night. God bless you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow, Friday. And we got some good shows planned for this weekend. So stay tuned. But I'll see you guys tomorrow night. God bless all of you. I'll see you guys tomorrow.